He's the new manager of the Angels, Joe Maddon, joining us on the program. Joe, what did you do with all your Cubs gear?
Well, my son sold a lot of his. Joey's very loyal. So Joey was on eBay, I think, trying to get out for some new Angel stuff. But no, I'm going to wear it proudly years from now, too. Listen, it was a great 5 years. My God, I have nothing to lament about it. Winning a World Series after 108 and the number of wins we put up, that was spectacular. So I don't have my son's personality per se, which is a good thing. But otherwise, I'll keep the gear.
What's the one memory that you'll keep from winning the World Series? Like, what's the one that's etched in your mind?
Oh, the throw. Excuse me, the throw from I'm fighting a cold, so excuse me. The throw from KB to Riz. You saw the slip. Everybody saw the slip. When KB slipped, it was like, whoa. And the ball came out hot and a little bit high, but, of course, Riz is very tall. But as soon as the ball settled into the glove, I really thought 108. That's my first thought, 108. Normally, I think about coaches and what it means for coaching staffs and front offices and, of course, the players, fans. But I thought 108 because the fans, Cub fans are so loyal. Everybody was tied to that moment. So it was 108 the moment the ball hit his glove.
Dave Martinez, the Nationals manager, was bench coach for a couple of years in Tampa. Have you stayed in touch with him?
Oh yeah, we've been texting recently. Once I ran down his new phone number, we've been texting. He went through that procedure. He's doing much better, obviously. I think he's doing a great job. The other night when he brought in Hudson, when he did, I thought that was spectacular. That was I don't even know if that's been talked about enough. That's kind of a game changer right there. Beatty really knows what's going on in the dugout. I could attest to that personally. He and I would talk constantly during the game. So. It doesn't surprise me from that perspective. Plus, he's got a really nice team. I mean, these guys are a real combination of old and new. There's veterans and babies, and their baby's one of the best in the business. So, and of course, their pitching staff is spectacular.
You know, you hear from coaches, managers, and they talk about, you kind of have a shelf life now in today's world in coaching and being a manager, and that you either need to hit the reset, take a year off, a new challenge. Give me the feeling of, was it time for you and the Cubs to separate? Did you feel that yourself?
I didn't. Honestly, I didn't. It became more obvious to me at the end of the fifth year. And believe me, there's no disconnect between me and the players there. That anything that's said or written about that is truly not true. It's just a matter of the front office, Theo and Jed. They just wanted to move in a different direction. That's their choice, and I totally respect it. So from that perspective, it's more difficult to deal if you know or feel that the front office doesn't support you. So that's really what it came down to. And it was right. It was good. It's a visceral situation. I felt the same thing by the end. I wanted to move it along. I wanted to get to a different spot. And of course, the Angels came open at the right time. But I've talked about, I think, maybe 5-year shelf life in Chicago might be the equivalent to 7 to 10 somewhere else. And that's good. That's cool. I have nothing but it was a pure, wonderful thoughts about my time there. But it probably was a time to move on based on how it finished out. But believe me, it had nothing to do with me and the players. I've been getting texts and there's a piece of art that Wilson had commissioned Contreras, and you Darvish sent me the most interesting and cool note I've ever received from a player. So it's been very, very humbling.
Why the Angels?
Yeah. Hazleton High School, Lafayette College, California Angels. I got a chance to come back. I think being gone for 15 years helped, meaning that had I just been away for 4 or 5 years, there might not have been a big enough gap to feel like it was time to go back. I needed to cut my teeth somewhere else. That would have been Tampa Bay, and then, of course, Chicago. The timing was just right, just like the timing was probably right to leave Chicago. The timing was definitely right to come back here. Artie and I have always got along great. Johnny Carpino, got to know Billy Epler quickly and really, really liked this guy in his mind. He's razor sharp, brother. And then the players. I mean, there's a nice team on the field right here. The guy that should be the MLB logo. And then on top of that, we will augment the pitching staff. So cannot be more excited. I had a great time at the press conference yesterday. A lot of the old Angels showed up, all my buddies. Again, a very humbling moment. I mean, I had Gritchy sitting over there, Langley, Rod Carew. I'm thinking in my mind's eye. Mike Witt was sitting in the back. Garrett Anderson, Adam Kennedy. Everybody was there, man. It was awesome.
How would you describe Mike Trout to somebody who'd never seen him play?
The way this is, how do you describe? This is the way what a complete baseball player looks like. If you're coming down from the moon and you want to know what baseball is all about, what a baseball player looks like, this is the guy. Check out Mike Trout. See what he does. And from the point of just running hard, I love guys that run hard from home to first. On a consistent basis, he does that. Defensively, he tracks everything down as a fine arm. And then, of course, at the plate, it's just different. When you make a mistake, it's hit hard somewhere. The holes that he had shown earlier on in his career, he's starting to cover. So he's got everything, man. He's just a complete baseball player. Of course, he fits the analytical mold because he's so good. But this guy is just a different animal, and to be able to work with him on a daily basis, I'm so looking forward to that.
He's Joe Maddon, the Angels' new manager, joining us. Dan Patrick Show. What number are you going to wear?
I had to stay with 70.
Okay.
And I brought that up yesterday. Langley used to give me a hard time about that, Mark Langston, when I showed up. Joe, you got to change your number. Because I knew Langley from 1980 playing in Boulder, Colorado. And I said, Langley, they took when Don Sutton came to the Angels, they gave Don number 20. How dare he take my number? He and I always laugh about it. So I dropped 20. I considered thinking about it. I was also thinking number 49 for Bob Clear, who was my mentor here for so many years, the best coach that nobody's ever heard of, Babalu. I thought about that. But at the time when I was given number 70 unceremoniously in my locker at Gene Autry Park, whatever year that was, I said I will never change this number because nobody's going to want it. and I was actually right.
Are you the greatest number 70 in baseball history?
We'll see when everything's done. George Costas wore it, and when he came over to the Cubs in spring training, we had an argument about who should keep number 70. At the end of the day, I want to wear it all the way through, and we'll see how this all plays out. But I kind of gotten to like it. I kind of like it. When I see in Wrigley, when I saw folks wear number 70 from a distance, I thought it looked pretty good.
All right, a couple things to clear up, just in case people aren't aware of your history. You intentionally walked Josh Hamilton with the bases loaded.
Yep.
That was when you were with the Rays. How much credit?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, please.
Okay, so you intentionally walked Josh Hamilton with the bases loaded. The Rays were up 7-3, 2 outs in the ninth inning.
Correct.
Okay, and it worked out. Did you? I know that somebody was it Buck Showalter intentionally walked Barry Bonds, I think, with the bases loaded, and that also worked out for him. Did you get criticism for doing that with Hamilton?
I don't, because it worked probably not as much. You only get criticized when things don't work. It has nothing to do whether it was the right or wrong thing to do in that moment. Whether something works or not is only that's how things are gauged or judged or remembered. But in that moment, Josh Hamilton was swinging the bat that well, and that ballpark in Texas, the ball just jumps everywhere. I didn't really have a great matchup. I think I had Grant Balfour walked him at that point with Marlon Byrd on deck. And Danny Wheeler. Danny Wheeler is doing really well for us. So I like so much better this moment of Wheeler on Bird as opposed to anybody in the world on Josh Hamilton. So that's what I did. So in that moment, it makes all the sense in the world. Now, when you get to today's game, with in greater scrutiny than that was 2008, I believe, and then you get all the fan scrutiny via social media. I think people may tend to walk away from that moment now and not be so inclined to do something like that, just in case it doesn't go right. I'm here to tell you I would still do it anyway. But things have changed. The scrutiny is higher, heavier. But nevertheless, in that moment, brother, in that dugout in Texas on that night, I felt it was the right thing to do.
And the other thing, there was an 80s song, Jenny by Tommy Two-Tone, and you had your 867-5309. And then you fixed your lineup with 8 was center field batting first, followed by the shortstop second at 6. So that was on purpose. Did you get criticized for that?
No, I think people kind of enjoyed it because that was, I think, B.J. Upton, probably Jason Bartlett, am I right? And then Carl Crawford, 8, 6, 7, 5 Longo, 3 Carlos Pena.
Who was the
8,
DH?
6, 7, 5, 3. That's a good question. And Gabe Gross, I don't even know. I can't remember the year that I did that, but I'm thinking about the players that may have been involved in that. The Tommy Two-Tone lineup, brother, and I think we won. We won with it. So how could you? And that's the whole thing. Just have some fun, people, please.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not life and death. Sports are fun and games. They are, and they should always remain that way. Those that start treating it like life and death, please wake up and smell the roses.
If I'm an Angels fan, what do I expect out of this team now?
Well, I mean, listen, even before you called, I'm ready to go see Billy Epler. A couple of minutes, we're going to interview some guys, and I was thinking about that, quite frankly. And I really think we have to, this spring training, make our mark and really have our players understand how important it is to really show up every night, meaning the fundamentals, the little things. We got to really get into the minutiae of the game and really think it's important every night. And nothing could be thought of as not important. And if I could get the guys to really settle on that mentally and have the coaching staff be dogged enough, which they will be, to incorporate. See, like, as a manager, I should not be involved in the coaching as much, although I did a lot more this past season. So you really have to have coaches that are willing to have difficult decisions. I like fearless coaches. And what that means to me is that he will have the tough discussion. He will call BS on somebody. He doesn't have to be the best coach that ever lived at that particular skill set, but he definitely has to be able to have the tough conversations. And if we are able to do that from day one, and that's what we're talking about right now, that's probably what I'm going to talk about on the very first day of camp, because it goes well beyond repetition and number of ground balls or swings or looking at data or video charts. It's about the heartbeat, brother. And if you bring that every day properly, we definitely have the skill set to make a lot of noise next year.
Belmar was the Belno. Who was he the DH? Does that sound right?
Oh yeah, Belnome.
Belnome.
Right?
Okay.
From New Jersey. Okay. He was up just for a brief moment. Great minor league hitter, good guy. I think his parents were in attendance that night. Wow, Belnome, right? Belnome.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Good guy.
Yeah. Now he's part of a trivia question. Hey, Joe, thanks for joining us. Good luck, and we hope to talk to you here when the season starts.
Thank you, Dan. Great to visit with you too, buddy.
That's Joe Maddon, Angels manager.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.